I'm about to replace the window casement operator on one of the windows in my home. I ordered it off of SWISCO. And now if you look on YouTube, SWISCO has made a video about doing it, so you're more than welcome to watch that installation video. It helped me to learn, but I kind of wanted to break it down a little more for all of you who may want some more depth to the whole process. Now, purchase this again off SWISCO. When you buy it, it is known as a dual arm entry operator. If you look out on the internet, some are called window casement operators. And so it ends up being actually cheaper ordering it off SWISCO. This with shipping ended up being about $44. Another one replacement that I did on a different window from Home Depot, I ordered it because I wanted it to do that day. It was $66. So it just depends on your timing, the amount of money you want to put in, but it's the same device. Now when you're purchasing one, this is a left hand one. This might throw you off because when you're looking at your window inside, you will see this is actually on the right side of the window when you're facing it, but that's not what it's referring to. It's actually, if you're from the exterior looking at the window, that's the side you're purchasing for where the handle is. So it's actually a left side one that we're going to need, and as I show you, it'll make more sense as we're installing it actually from the right side, but it is a left-hand operator. So that gives the general introductory background to this. Now let's go ahead and I will show you the installation of it. So as you can see, I've removed the covering portion as well as the handle. I have a separate video on how to remove a window door crank handle, and that I'll link at the end, but this shows you the parts before we go into replacing the operator. Now in this case, this Windows screen door actually broke. It was already gone, but you're going to want to make sure you remove your screen door portion as well too. And as you can see, I've used the handle prior to open up the window a bit, and I will show you now what's causing the problem. So if you take a look, I'm opening up, and the biggest problem here is this portion easily slips off. And as we'll see later, if I push it out a little bit more, you want this hole to be on here and on strong. It's always been loose, and that's what's been causing the problem with the operation of this window. Now, I have a friend who's a window washer. He came by, did the window washing, and he told me, hey, these are the original windows with the home. 70s home, so it's not surprising. Wear and tear happens. How old this operator is, I don't know if it's from the 70s, 90s, who knows, but enough that a little bit over time, as the Achebe book says, things fall apart. So that's what's happened here, and go ahead then and replace it. So as you can see, there's no way I can get to these screws to unscrew them of this old operator without removing the portion that covers it. So all that you'll be really needing is one of the carpenter's little knivies, as I'll show you and see. And then I'm going to use a putty knife. Others may use a small crowbar, whatever might be the case, but I'll show you how to go about doing that to expose the screws we need to remove the operator. So yeah, I've done this, slid this across, allowing to free up that, so when we slowly but surely use a putty knife. Okay, so ever so carefully using a putty knife to start to lift up Alright, it'll take some time wiggling on that putty knife, but really you're trying to expose those nails that have been screwed in that you're going to eventually hammer back down anyway. So yeah, now just lift up and you can remove that portion. We'll hammer it down later. Okay, so you'll start to remove the old operator parts. Move this from this circular part. There is a portion here which you'll connect later. This, again, it's pretty old. It easily could be removed. Now this exposes areas where we'll start to remove these already kind of loose screws. You see, so removed all the screws, and look at that, so old. And this gives us the opportunity to clean off this area too before we go ahead and put in a new one. As an ex-girlfriend of mine once said when she had to walk through a truck exhaust and a crosswalk, ooh, gross, gross, gross. Okay, so much cleaner relatively for what is ultimately a window in a mountain home. But one thing to point out, when you buy from SWISCO, you're basically only buying this operator. That is it, and that could explain the price difference between this and, let's say, something you might get at Home Depot. What I mean by that is, this is it. So Home Depot, with what I bought there, it provided this as well as this portion. So if you're looking for a new part to attach to your window as well too, that's included and might explain the addition in price, as well as they provide new screws to you. But like I said, no frills. It's literally you're buying the part when you go to SWISCO. So what I've noticed here is this portion is actually pretty bent. That could explain why over time this was getting loose with the old operator as well too. Nevertheless, a good thing to get a new operator, and this can be a little temporary here, but what I'm going to end up doing, again, part by part, I'll need to get a new part here that allows for this to connect much better. And we're back. Hopefully you can finish this up before the rain swings in again. And so again, I've removed this portion. As you can see, this gives us the opportunity to clean a bit, and pretty old, and like I said, seems to have curved, over the years, wind or whatever, pulling it. So got a nice new one, and I'll be putting that in. Okay, so now you can see I've screwed in and installed the new portion against the window, placed it into that circular area, which is much more secure since it's not bent anymore. I put the handle on just to show you, hey, it's easily closing now, which is great. Opening back up. And so now I'll show you just putting it all back on, hammering down. There's a lot of things that come to mind when you're doing home repair, such as what jackass put this together in the 1970s. So I imagine a man just enjoying the Bee Gees and also not really putting this together very well. Anyway, I could care less, but the best approach is trying to hammer home something there. It does the trick. It's still looking reasonable enough until I deal with this. Perhaps some other time when I sell the home or whatever. Either way, we've got it on. I'm happy with it. I hope your situation not as complicated or involving something so old. So then, of course, the last portion, just putting on this little plastic covering, and then the handle on top. I'll be putting in a screw in to tighten the handle, and it'll work just fine. So yeah, that's all the steps involved in it, but also a breakdown and understanding what you're paying for, what to look for. So, any questions, feel free to leave them below in the comments. Any comments that you have, again, please feel free to leave them below. If this video helped you, if you liked it, please do like it. And do subscribe to the channel. More things coming up as I work on the various things around this home.